Okay. Om Shanti. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome on behalf of Brahma Kumaris, Silicon Valley. I'm the instrument today to present the webinar. My name is Rashmi. I'm a software engineer by profession, and I've been practicing and a student at Brahma Kumaris for over 6 years now, and it has been a beautiful internal journey, which is enriching my external journey. Before we begin with the webinar, let's have a short meditation. Let's take a deep breath. And prepare ourselves to go within and observe the thoughts. Let's slowly guide my thoughts towards a time when I heard the inner calling, a calling from within, which was so powerful. It slowly changed my world outside. I can also recall a moment when there was a big event outside, which altered the being within. It could be a pleasant one or not so, could be losing a loved one or welcoming someone into my life. An event on one side can move things on the other side. It is time. I see the inside and the outside for what they are. So I'm equipped to engage with both the worlds, and I'm more prepared. So if we look up on the internet, if we Google up about introversion and extroversion, so we see a lot of information and discussion to see which one is better than the other. But what we really need to understand is both of them are equally important. But also the fact is we have gone too far away in one direction, that is in an outward way. So both introversion and extroversion, inward journey and outer journey, are like two ropes of a swing, which need to be of equal length so I can balance and enjoy my life and swing in the swing of happiness and really get entertained by life. So both are equally important. And spirituality is something that guides us in the other direction to bring balance, to understand ourselves, to go within, and to bring out more insight so I can handle the outside better. So when we see introversion and extroversion, silence and sound, both of them are very important. If I'm left in a room in silence without anything for some time, say for a week, I cannot handle that. Just the silence and in the sound constantly, and that is also not good. So in music, there is both sound and silence. In between, there is also a little pause, which will make the music more melodious. And if there is continuous sound, it will not become a melodious music, right? There has to be that pause of silence. And when we go into the silence and then come, the sound becomes more meaningful. Otherwise, it'll just become noise. So there has to be a good balance between the both. And if you look at the history and to look at any invention, so anybody who has invented anything, they've gone into silence and then they've invented. And once they've invented, we have to come out so that we can use it better. So if we invented being in silence and if we don't come out and make use of it, and there's no point in inventing anything. So there has to be both going in, inventing, and coming out and use it, what has been invented in the right way. And also imagination. Imagination is something that happens within. And if I sit and just keep imagining things, and if I don't come out and create anything, and there's no point. So there has to be both the imagination, the visualization within, and also come out and create it. So both are very necessary. And so is introspection and come out and communicate. If I just keep thinking of something and if I don't come out and speak it, there's no point. And if I just keep speaking without introspecting, and there's no much meaning to it, and it will not add much value for what I'm speaking. And also the coming into essence and expansion. Say if I listen to any lecture, so I have to take out the essence of the entire lecture that I listen to. So I bring a few pointers back with me, the essence of what I listened. And then I go into expansion. I think about it more and I bring that and I make it my experience. So I also need to come into expansion of, thinking of it and making my experience. There has to be both going into the essence and expansion. So going into the details when it is required and also just look at the picture, the bigger picture on a high level. So we need to have both and also need to understand when to be what, right? And also it is not that we say that I'm an introvert and I cannot speak, and I'm an extrovert, I cannot stop speaking, or I need people around me so that I can share things and keep talking and listening. And so it is not compulsive behavior. I need to bring, when I know the importance of both and when I know when to bring what, so then it'll be a more voluntary or a willful behavior than compulsive. So I need to be comfortable. So when I'm let all by myself, I need to know, and I should not be just a stranger to my own self. I need to understand my own self and comfortable, enjoy my own company and also company of others. So when I'm with people around, I should also be able to enjoy the company of others. So there has to be, we need to know, we need to be equipped to towards both. The more I understand myself, the better I can engage myself with the other people. So I also need to understand what to merge and emerge, what to take within and keep within, and what I need to speak out, others' weaknesses. So there's no point in me gossiping about somebody's weaknesses. I need to understand what to merge. And if I have an information, or if I have something and I've learned something which can be useful for other people, so I need to be comfortable with sharing with other people, and speaking, and communicating that with others. So I need to know, and I need to have both of them. And when I'm in trouble or when I need help, I need to understand, say, if I have a legal issue. So that might be a good example, so that I can reach out to an expert and understand how I can handle the best. Right, when I'm in trouble, I need to understand when I should be reaching out. And there are some times that there's a situation where I need to bring out my quality or my strength from within. So I need to reach in to bring out my strength so that I can handle that situation. So I need to understand both, when I should be reaching in and reaching out. It is not just I always go out to other people and take their opinion or their suggestions. Not that I keep all my problems to myself and not really take help when I really need to. Right, so there has to be both. And I also need to understand when to be what. And also communication. So we see a lot of times that we over communicate or we under communicate, but we need to understand. Say, for example, I need to keep my stakeholders updated, right? So that they know what is happening. And at the same time, it is not that I over communicate and I share the information that other person is not really needed. So I need to understand how much I need to communicate, just communicate enough. So that reminds me of Dadi Chanki, who was the administrative head of Brahma Kumaris. So we hear from a lot of seniors that Dadi Chanki used to always communicate. Whenever she went outside, she kept others around updated where she's doing and what she's doing, just enough, so that others don't create unnecessary and waste thoughts thinking, where is Dadi, what she's doing. So it will come on to her because they are creating that waste. So she would communicate with others. It is also not that one has to give all the details to others, right? So we need to have both, and we need to understand what to choose when and how much. And uh, and uh, being somebody, and then we need to also be engaging. We need to be engaged in the outer world. It is not that I go and sit and meditate always and don't come out and do anything. So I need to go out in the outer world and engage myself with things, so that I can bring a benefit and I can do something and I can create something. But at the same time, when I'm doing outside, I also need to see that I'm just not caught up in doing and doing, right? So if that is taken away, I should not be like, I don't have anything in my life that I can do because I'm so caught up in just one thing. So I need to have that balance, engaging myself in the outer world, but also not being caught up with it. So a lot of times we have a lot of feelings and thoughts, but we suppress within for a lot of reason. Right? Sometimes it can be because we are so unsure about what we are thinking, or unsure about ourselves, of if my opinion is right or what I'm thinking is right. So we are so unsure that we cannot express, but just suppress it, though we feel it very strongly. And sometimes we fear the consequence, or what happens if I share this with somebody, right? I don't have that strength to face the consequence, right? The fear of consequence. Say, if I need something, or if I have any desire, if I share anything and if they reject, right? So fear of that consequence, and have low confidence and low self-respect. Don't respect enough, so that I need to express myself. And a lot of times, what happens if there's too much negativity within and so entangled with the negativity, there's no clarity. And we know that if we have to express it, it sounds very ugly. It looks very ugly. And it feels like as though it is better I keep that within because there's so much negativity within. And when we are too suppressing a lot of it and we are seeing and we, for whatever happens, a lot of times we blame ourselves. So it is my mistake and feel guilty about whatever. So the more and more I suppress the negativity, the deeper it becomes. It goes inside and and we become very, very bitter because it is it has gone to so much deep, right? We are harming ourselves. And a lot of times we are so extroverted and we are so busy with expressing whatever we are feeling and whatever we are thinking. There's no self control that I cannot stop. I do not see what I'm supposed to express and what I need to actually change because we have so less self control because we are being extroverted always and we are in the habit of being extroverted and expressing. And so when we are in that mode, so we don't think about consequence because there's no time because we immediately want to express everything, so there's no space for me to think about consequence, and I'm so careless about it. And a lot of times if we speak to criminals, so we understand that it was just that moment. So when there was so much negativity and we put that negativity that was there within into action at that moment, and that is what a crime is. Negativity that was there within, it has come out and expressed in an action, right? So we all must have heard this incident that happened, that a mother stabbed a child. A child was cranky and crying, and the mother was cutting vegetables, and she couldn't control herself, and she just took the knife which was in her hand and she just stabbed the child, right? Because uh, if you're not reflecting and if you're not taking care of ourselves and if we just express without changing or understanding, so it will become a crime and we will end up doing something um, so hurtful to ourselves and even to others, right? So and a lot of times it is just an overflow of negativity. We constantly keep talking about all the wrong things that is happening around, like to listen about it and things like that. So when there's a lot of negativity within and when we are an extrovert, we spread that negativity one to the other, right? So when we are suppressing, it goes deeper, but when we are expressing, we are spreading and we are making it more and more, and we are spreading across. And all the ways, if we are the only way that we see is outward, so for everything that happens we blame others because we are only looking outwardly. We are not really seeing how I can do something about things, but I'm so focused on the outward thing that for whatever happens I blame others, right? It is not that I suppress or express, it is something that I need to transform the negativity to positivity and transform the way I look at things. So when I transform myself, so whether it is introversion or extroversion, so it is when it is introversion, I'm with myself and I myself is so pleasant that I'm so comfortable with in my own company. So there is benefit there and there is comfort there, whether I'm in silence or when I'm in action as well, when I'm extroverted as well in outward. When I come outward, right? When I express. So when there is positivity and a lot of love and a lot of respect for myself and for others, then I can bring benefit and I can make my life and everybody's life very pleasant and enjoyable. So what is so important is not really whether we are expressing or we are being introverted, but it is really to transform so that both of them will bring benefit when we are both of it. It is also when a lot of times what happens, we think, we speak, and we act. So inside to outside. So a lot of times we take care, we might be having a lot of negativity about somebody within, but while speaking, we take care. And when we are putting into action, we put a filter there, which is good because we are not bringing the negativity into action. But also, it is very important that I go back and transform my thinking. So when I transform my thinking, then there's no much work. Both my thinking, speaking, and acting, all of them are equal, all of them are aligned. So it will be beneficial, and I don't have to put filters. So I need to go within so I can transform. So from the source, I am changing all the things, not just outward things. And there's a quote from Dadi Chanki, not to give sorrow to anyone, nor take sorrow from anyone. So we have heard the first thing, and we have been taught from childhood not to give sorrow. And a lot of times we take care and we give attention to that we are not giving sorrow to anybody. So we are taking care of the outward. But what spirituality teaches is also to take care of what we are taking inward, not to take sorrow from anyone. So if I'm taking sorrow, all I have is sorrow to give to others. So we need to take care both the ways. We need to have attention both the ways. It is not just. So if you have to, one is more important than the other in their own way. So we need to take care. Am I taking sorrow from any situation or from anybody? Right? So not to give sorrow and not to take sorrow. So both are important. And any communication, it is not just through words, right? We are not just communicating through our mouth or through our words. So we are communicating in all ways from all our five sense organs. We are taking information from all our sense organs, and we are also communicating out through all our sense organs. So we can look at somebody's eyes and we can see the love that they have for us, right? Or we also can see the anger they have towards us just looking at their eyes, or just somebody's touch can heal somebody, right? There's so much healing that is happening just through touching. But there's also somebody's touch can also make us so uncomfortable. So we are communicating both ways in words and then sound. So some sound can give us a headache, and some sound can make us feel very pleasant and we enjoy. Or some smell can be very therapeutic, and some smell can make us nauseated. So there is information going in and going out. We are taking in and expressing with through all the sense organs. It is not just the words. So we need to see. Paradarshan means seeing. Par means others. Darshan is seeing others. I need to see. If I'm only looking outward, what others are doing, what mistakes they are doing, and how they are behaving. It is not just the negativity of others, If I'm also just looking at only what others are good at, right? And without looking inward, what are my specialities, or what are my mistakes that I am doing? If I'm not looking at myself, then it is of no benefit. And even the other way around, if I'm just looking at myself, my own mistakes or my own strength without looking at others, that is also too much of my own self. But the important thing is, we have become so outward. So it is time for us to look within, look at our own mistakes, and to see how we can transform our own self, and how I can behave in any situation. Or parchintan, just keep thinking about others, about everything they are doing, and about everything how they can do better. So we cannot do anything about what others are doing. So it is just a waste of time, because what I'm thinking that they're supposed to do, they will not do it anyways, because they have their own things, and they have their own thoughts, and they have their own plans. And there's no point for me to sit and make plans for others, because they have their own plan to execute. So instead of that, if I spend the time in self reflection, and to see myself within, and to see what I can transform myself from within, then it will benefit me, and also benefit everybody around. So it is important to check and to go within and do self reflection, no matter what the situation is, just to go see, how am I looking at the situation? Am I looking at in the right way, so that I can bring benefit to myself and to others, right? Not just always outward, but it's important to go within, and to check our thoughts, and to correct immediately, and then come into action, so that I'm making my thinking, speaking, and action equal. Otherwise, we have we have become so used to putting the filters between all those three things. So I need to go within and transform, so that what comes out is pleasant and beneficial to everyone. And also, opinions of others. We're so focused on what others are thinking about us, and what others have to say about us, and everything that they are speaking, say in social media, to really see, and how curious and how looking forward we are of how other people approve of us, or like, or or appreciate us of what we are doing, and how we are looking. So we are so concerned about it, that we forget how important self acceptance is, and to really respect our own opinion, and to have trust in ourselves, right? And to go with our uh, gut feeling. Sometimes we follow the mass, because everybody else is doing. It becomes easy for us to follow, but we really need to go within and check. Just because everybody else is doing, it doesn't mean that it is something beneficial, right? So we need to really check, and accept our own self, and really give importance to our opinion and thinking as well. But I know, just not caught up with others' opinion, just outward. And at the same time, it is not just I give importance to just my own opinion and not seeing others' opinion. It is also not that. And when we are coming outward, when we are coming out and coming into interaction with anybody, or in action with anybody, we really need to be par upkari. We need to be helping others. So I'll be able to help others only am helped. So I need to go within, help myself so that I'm available for others to help. If I'm so caught up with my own problems, then I'll not be available for others. So I need to go within and help myself and be there for myself so that I sort out my things. When I sort out my things and I'm available for others, right? So when we come out, we should come out, our words should be encouraging and we should motivate others, or we should not be discouraging others. So all that will happen when I'm doing all that within to my own self, right? So we have been discussing about going inward and outward and being introverted and extroverted, but it is not just in and out. Spirituality says it is a triangle. So there are three things. So it is a triangle and there are three things: inward and going upward and outward. So when it is a triangle, when it is a closed loop, the energy there is that is transmitted is contained within that circle or a triangle. So it is a three-way journey, that is to go within and to go upward and to connect to the divine and then come out to others to give whatever I have received from the divine. So it is not just inward or outward, but in every interaction and in any situation that I need to go within myself first and check what is happening within myself and stabilize myself and go up, connect to the divine and take all the power and all the gifts from him and give it to others. So even if one thing is missing, it is not complete. So all three of them has to be there to complete and to contain the energy, the spiritual energy. So we will look into this more in detail. The first one is going inward. The first step is going within and to really stabilize myself in my self-respect, Swaman. So if you see any of the royal person, they wear a cape, a long cape that reminds them of who they are, of their self-respect. Right? I need to stabilize in my own self-respect. So I know what I'm supposed to do and what I'm not supposed to do. A royal person knows, and they know that what they are supposed to do. And they're within that respect. And they do everything in there. And being in swasthiti, stabilizing ourselves in swasthiti, right? So any king, so when he makes any decision, if there is a situation or if anybody comes and speaks to them, or if they want advice, or if the king has to make any decision, the king will not just make it anywhere, right? He will ask the other person to come to his court and he will sit in a seat and then he gives his opinion or he gives his decision. Similarly, we also need to stabilize ourselves of what we are and sit there and then give. So an order to my own self or a suggestion or opinion to others, then there will be a value. So I need to go stabilize myself and then give any opinion or decision. And also Swa Darshan. So we all have heard. So most of us might be knowing Swadershan Chakra, that we have heard that Krishna uh, used Swadershan to kill all the demons. Swadershan is self-realization. So use the discus of self-realization to kill all the demons. Actually, it is a symbolic form to tell ourselves that we need to go within. The demons also are within. So if I go within and check myself, and I can, if I'm not outward and if I'm going within, so I have a lot of insight within, right? And if I stabilize myself in my self-respect and really see what has to be changed, and if I'm constantly going inward and checking, so by doing that, I can remove my own weaknesses, remove the demons that they are within, right? Spin the discus of self-realization means go within and check in every moment, no matter what the situation is. Go within and really see what I am supposed to do in this situation. What is it that is not allowing me to do something that is good or benevolent, and to really see that and to remove those weaknesses. So that is Swadershan, self-realization. We need to spin that constantly. So that is the inward journey. So that is our first step. And the second step is to go upward, to connect to the divine, so that I can take power, strength, and qualities and everything, whatever I need to take from him. So before that, we also need to understand whom we are talking about. Right? So we say God the Father, and in India we say Mata Pita, means mother, you are my mother and father. So I am a child of God. So calf, the parent of a calf looks like a is a cow, looks very similar, right? So we understand and we can see that. And a father of a child is also somebody who looks like him, and we can see the child, so we can see the father, and his form is very similar to the child, right? A human being. So we realize that we are souls, a point of light, Atma, that energy, that invisible traveler. So we are souls. We understand that I am not this body, but the soul, that energy that drives this body. So a father of that soul also has to be a soul, a point of light, supreme soul, Param Atma. We call Paramatma in Hindi or in a lot of languages in India. Right? The father or a parent, mother and father of a soul is a supreme soul. So I need to stabilize myself as a soul, go within, and only then can I connect to my parent, because he is also a soul. So if I see myself as a bodily being, I will remember my physical parent. But when I go within and remind myself that I am the soul, then I can connect to my father, right? So a seed has the essence of the entire tree. A seed that is sown will eventually become a tree. The essence of the entire tree is in the seed, and every part of the tree is connected to the seed. So similarly, we, the souls, all of us souls, I'm not sure if you can see my cursor, but the second part below, we are all the souls, innumerable souls, and we are connected to the one seed. We are all connected through Him. God is the soul, is the seed of the human world tree. Right? So whenever we come into connection with others, so we understand that we are all connected through Him. He is the main connection between all of us. So I need to understand, when I know that God is my Father and is ocean of all the qualities, is a king. So I am his child. So I must be a prince. So being a prince, we don't beg from others. So when I know that I'm a prince, I know that I have a lot of treasure to give others. I don't ask for peace, happiness, power, because, or so when I know I'm a physical prince, I will not ask anything from anybody, because being a prince, I'm supposed to give, not to take from others, right? So when I know my spiritual father is a spiritual king who has so much spiritual wealth, it is not that he has physical wealth, because as a spiritual being, he has spiritual wealth, abundance of it. So everything that belongs to my father is mine. So I don't have to ask him. I just need to connect to him, and I can take from him, because whatever belongs to him belongs to me as well, because I'm his child. So, but only thing that I need to have is the key to open that treasure is that awareness. Who is my father? Who am I? What he has, and what I can take from him. So when I have that awareness and remembrance, then I can open and take whatever I need. So with whatever I take from him, and I've become so full from him, so when I come outward, interaction with others, all I have is to give whatever I have got. And this is something to understand, that so we understand this circle of things. So we create thoughts based on our beliefs, and thoughts will turn into words and actions, slowly character and destiny. And destiny, in other words, result. So whatever results I get, I create my beliefs also based on that. So it is in that circle, and it is getting recycled and recycled and recycled. So eventually the power of it will become very low. The positivity will become negative. So that is when we need to bring God into picture, so that we are taking his guidance and all the uh, information and all the powers and all the qualities from him, so that we have those treasures to give to others, and to for us also to enjoy. So when I take all those treasures, fill myself with all the treasures, when I'm come outward, all that I have is to give those, right? So when I know I'm a child of God, I also know that others are also children of God. I'll have that elevated vision. No matter what the other person is doing, I will have that elevated vision towards others as well. So I can remind them who they are, right? So my interaction can be a way for them to remind them of who they are. And all I speak and all I do is will bring encouragement and empower others, because I've filled myself And I need to take attention that I keep a stock of all the spiritual wealth, so that I can read the pulse of others, in the meaning to understand what the other person needs, and I can give it to them, and I can quench their thirst, right? So for that, I need to fill myself in first, so that I can give it to others what they need, and I can also make them equal to my own self and bring them closer to the divine, to the source. Whatever wealth I'm receiving from God, I would also want them also to receive all that, the peace, happiness, knowledge, and everything, all the abundance that I am getting. I would also want others also to get. So I will bring them closer to God with everything I'm doing. So I'm I'll also be very benevolent, because I'm child of a benevolent father or mother, benevolent parent. So benevolence doesn't pick and choose. Oh, I will be benevolent only to this person. I will not be benevolent to this person. Benevolence doesn't pick and choose. Benevolence is just the being. I'm benevolent, and whoever needs will take benefit, right? So I need to be benevolent, and I'll be benevolent when I do the first two steps of going within and reminding myself of who I am, and going up and connect to the parent and take all the spiritual wealth. And when I come out, automatically whatever I'm doing will be benevolent. So only when I miss the first and second step is when things go wrong. Only when I'm outward is when things go wrong. So we need to make sure, because the first and second step is so subtle that we a lot of times we miss, because we have been outward for so long. So we need to bring special attention for the first and second step. So that is where meditation and the practices help. The constant practice of doing that in every situation, and at different intervals in the day. So it needs attention of going inward and upward. Outward, we are so used to, and it doesn't take much effort. So all that we need to do is to fill ourselves, so that outward is pleasant automatically. So, and also there are no expectations from anyone outside. So when I'm so full within, why would I expect from anybody, right? So I don't need anything from anyone. If I'm here, if I'm outward, it is to give. So the whole thing that we discussed is that who I am a soul. Go inward and go upward. Who is mine? God, my parent. He is mine, and I belong to him. And that activates my strength, right? So whenever we are in a company of somebody, it will activate similar kind of qualities within us. So as a soul, I'm full. I have everything that I need, but sometimes I forget. So when I'm in remembrance of God, that my everything, my potential gets activated when I'm in his company. So I activate my own inner treasures by being in the company of God. And then when I come out, and we are all playing different roles. And when I come out and I realize, what am I here for? I'm here to bring benefit to everybody, and everybody is playing different roles, and they are playing very accurately. So I come with that understanding. So in any situation, there are three things: who am I, who is mine, and what I am here for. Extroversion, that is when we go outward. What am I here for? So these are very good questions to ask ourselves before we start anything. So intuition, right? I quickly want to touch upon this topic of intuition. So we all have had intuitions at some point or the other in our life. We can call it sixth sense or an instinct, right? So sometimes it has to be so strong that we can hear it and we can listen to it. But it doesn't have to be always a strong intuition for me to listen. There are a lot of small intuitions. If we really make our mind silence, we can listen, even the small ones, and that can create magic in our lives. So for that, we need to make our mind silent so that I can listen to it. So it is not that information and everything is just coming through the five senses, but there is also an intelligence within which is guiding us. So we need to silence our conscious mind so that I can listen to it. So a lot of times there are a lot of, though there are intuitions that are coming within, we block it because of a lot of reasons, um, like old beliefs or past experiences. Past experiences might oppose the intuition that I'm having, or whatever insight that I'm getting from within. So it will block me from considering the intuition that I'm having. And my own desires, I might have created a different plan for my own self, that I don't want to listen to that intuition or others opinion. So others opinion, whatever are saying, are so tangible because we can hear it out loud, that a small little voice from within might be shut off because others opinions are so tangible. And impatience. So whenever there is an intuition, when there is any guidance from within, so we need to wait. It is not that, say for example, if it is not an intuition, but I'm just saying somebody is saying a lie to me in front of me. It is not that I become impulsive and react to it immediately, but I hold on to that. Oh, I see that this person, whatever they are saying, is not right. I hold on to it, but I need not take an action immediately, right? And uh, to stay anchored so that we can see how things turn out. But it is not that I neglect it, but also have patience and stay anchored to it, right? Sometimes our own ego or body consciousness, we neglect or we ignore the signal that we are getting, or we are so preoccupied with things that there's so much noise around that we don't listen to it. But it is really important that we silence our mind so that we can listen to it and we can take guidance from our intuitions. And as the days are passing by, it is more and more important, which we call power to catch the signals that are so subtle so that we are guided. Right? We need more and more practice of silence to really listen to that. I just want to end the discussion with just this last story, that there was a writer, and he writes a book and that becomes very famous, and he gets a lot of appreciation from all around the world, and he's so happy. But he receives one letter from one lady, and she has a lot of she has criticized his book in so many ways, and because he was so busy with all the praises and all that, and this comes as a big shocker to him, and after reading her letter he becomes so angry and immediately writes a letter to her, and he reads his own letter, and when he reads his own letter he sees that, this letter is so bitter. Let me wait for one day and see if I should post this. And he gives himself a day. And the next day, he writes a letter again as a reply to that lady. And when he writes that letter, it becomes a little more better, not so bitter. And when he reads and when he thinks, I gave it just one day, it has become so much better. Let me give it a week. And he gives himself a week, and he thinks over it for a week. And then after a week, when he writes a letter to her saying that, thank you so much for giving all your pointers. And I can see that how I can make my work and my writing better. You have given me so much insight to be a better writer. There's so much scope I can see, and thank you so much for helping me and giving me all the pointers that you have given. And he writes a letter back to her, and eventually they both become a very good friends. So what we need to understand is, when there is something that happens outside, it is important that we give time to ourselves to really introspect and to see. And it is not just we are just doing the introspection and not coming out. If we didn't come out and write a letter back to her, they wouldn't have become friends. But before an outward event, I need to go within and really reflect and then go outward. So there has to be a space between the two things, and to go within and to really see and check. So both of them are equally important. Let's have a quick meditation. While I play my part on this world stage, in the midst of expansion, of situations, relations, emotions, let me take a moment to come into the essence of who am I. I am a soul, an actor, a hero actor. Essence of who I belong to. I belong to God, the Almighty. Let me take His guidance. so I can play my part with accuracy, elegance, and dignity. And realize everyone around me are playing their roles exactly as they're supposed to. I'm here to bring benefit because I'm a child of the benevolent Father. Let me understand the spiritual triangle and be within that. Sorry to have taken a little longer. I would like to quickly go over about the organization, and we can a few announcements, a few important announcements, and we will take questions after that. So Brahma Kumaris World Spiritual Organization started in 1937. So we have centers over 130 countries, and we have centers of around 8,000, and there are a million practicing members worldwide. And our motto is world transformation through self transformation. So go within, transform ourselves, and go out, and the world will be transformed, or we can also do things to transform the world. And Brahma Kumaris Silicon Valley Center, it is led by Kusum Didi, Sister Kusum Kejriwal, director of the center. She's been practicing meditation from her childhood, and she has surrendered her life 38 years back. And she's a great example who can be in silence and also in sound, being in the essence and being in expansion, both of them. So whenever she comes into sound, she encourages and empowers everyone around her. And we have 200 regular students who attend Morley, and we have webinars and retreats every month, webinars every week, and everything is conducted online these days. And you can note down the address and website. And everything that we offer is offered free of charge. And if you would like to contribute so that it will bring benefit to everyone, then you can contribute, and all your contributions are tax deductible, and you can note down the website in the link. And here is the special announcement that we have a live interactive talk by Sister Shivani next Saturday at 6 p.m. So do register and also spread it around so that everybody can take benefit from it. And we have Raj Yoga meditation course starting on March 13th, both in Hindi and English. That will happen every weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And our next webinars, interesting topics: slave mind versus self-sovereign mind, and explore the extraordinary you. So you can register on the website for the webinars and Raj Yoga course. And we have live guided meditation every day at 7:30 till 8. And the topic is 10-day goal to reveal the authentic self. we have a special series, and we have living value classes for kids every Sunday from 10:30 to 11:30, and parenting classes. And the topic of this month, upcoming month, is instilling values in kids, and it can be very beneficial. And thank you very much, everyone, for joining us today. If you have any questions, you can put that in the chat window.